Welcome to the Cinchuation Podcast, brought to you by Saddle Up. Saddle your horses, tighten those cinches, and join us as we dive into the heart of the Western equestrian lifestyle.
So thank you guys for coming back for another episode of the Cinchuation Podcast. Today we have Miss Emma with us. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
You're
I'm happy to
awesome.
be here.
Yes, you've been a customer, God, for how long now? It's been a long time.
I've been in Colorado for 9 years, so probably about 8.5
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
Basically
awesome.
the whole time. You guys are the first, other than like Tractor Supply.
Oh, wow.
First tack store that I
That's
ever went
awesome.
to. So.
Support local.
Yeah, shop small.
Yeah,
for
of course.
sure. I think the first time I met you was when we went out there. We did an offsite at your barn or something. and
Back
we
when
did,
Waylon was just a pipsqueak.
Yes,
He was.
we did like 8 horses, and it was so much
I think
fun.
we did 9 horses
I think we
actually.
did.
I
There
think
was a
we
lot
did
of
9
horses.
horses, and we don't know how that McCall fit beautifully on all of them.
Yeah.
I very much remember
Yeah.
that because
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that's never happened in the
That's
lifetime
never
of
happened.
us doing saddle fits.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that was good.
So it's been a long time. So thank you for
Yeah.
being here. We're super excited. Can you start us off? Just share like a bit of your backstory and journey with horses, and kind of what led you to what you're doing today.
Yeah, sure. So I grew up with horses. My mom, I was a surprise. So there was that. But she had horses long before she had me. And she kind of lovingly said, I want horses and you will too. And you can stop doing them when you leave the house. But until then, you will kind of participate, or you will at least help do chores. And that was
how it
kind of
is.
that
Aw.
was it. So I did 4-H. I mean, I went to my first horse show when I was like 2.5, where I found my 32-year-old Shetland pony,
Oh
and
my
we had him. I did 4-H up until I was like 13, and then I switched to 3-day eventing, and
Wow.
I didn't show quite as much through like the last year or so of high school, and then I kind of stopped riding for my first year I did 1 year of college. I had a full ride scholarship to college, and then I was like, nah. So I dropped out of college and moved to South Carolina to ride and groom and
Oh, wow.
do stuff like that. So I was in the 3-day eventing scene, rode 3-day event and hunt horses for 4 years before I came out here and kind of switched everything over. So
Wow. So was your mom an English rider?
no, she rode Western.
Good.
She was actually a barrel racer and
Oh,
pleasure
nice.
rider, and she
Uh-huh.
did all sorts of stuff like that. But my mom, she wanted horses when she was a kid. Like,
Yeah.
she'd get excited if they were driving and there was like horse poop on the side of the road because she knew horses had been there.
Oh,
They didn't even have to be there
Aw.
currently. They just
That's
were
adorable.
there. She
They
would get
walked
excited.
right here. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
So
awesome.
she just kind of did, whatever. She had a mare that she bred, I think she had 3 babies and
Aw.
stuff like that. So
Does she still have horses?
she does. She has 1 old horse. Okay, so she has 3 of my horses. She's got 2 of my yearlings and 1 of my 2-year-olds, and then she has this horse's name is Bill, and she's had him. Unless he's in trouble, then he's William. But she's had Bill once since I think I was 10 or 11. So he's old. He's 24, 25 years old. And then she has 1 boarded horse. So
Nice.
just her little hobby farm.
Yeah, she's still in there. That's
Yep.
funny.
And where
Yep.
is she at?
She's in Michigan.
Okay.
Yep, Southwest Michigan. She's got
Nice.
80 acres out there.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Wow.
yep.
That's
Dang.
awesome.
So that's where I grew up.
That's
which
what I was just gonna ask. So I
phenomenal
guess I just
place.
thought you were
Yep.
like originally from here, but so originally
Yep,
from Michigan.
Michigan,
Nice.
Michigan.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome. I've never been out there, but I've heard it's beautiful.
Yes.
It's really
Yeah.
green.
Is
If
it
you like
green?
the color,
I
if you're
just-
sick of brown.
Yes, I do like green.
Michigan has a lot of green.
Michigan has green, no brown.
Cute.
That's funny. That's funny. It made me think of Bill. I'm like, when he's in trouble here too,
We call him William.
Or
Yep.
like William.
And it happens quite often.
It does.
so.
Or my favorite is Billiam.
Yeah,
It's
yep,
the
we call
Billiam.
him that too.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Bill
That's
Nye, the
funny.
horsey guy.
There
call
you
him
go.
that,
Yeah. Perfect, yeah. So, what disciplines? So, it sounded like you kind of tried a few different ones in the beginning, and then what kind of led you to what you do today?
Yeah, so started off doing the all around. I barrel raced, did some jumping, did some of that, did dressage and fox hunting and 3-day eventing, and then I came out here and we did the dude ranch stuff, and I just couldn't really find the right mix of good horse, if you will. I
Yeah.
didn't really like the mindset that the the dressage people had, or even the Western pleasure people had, where our horses do not go outside.
Right.
I don't like that. It makes kind of crazy horses, and I don't really like the eventers that their horses have no ground manners, but I don't really like the Western, but like there was never really a good mesh of. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a little bit from everything and just kind of make my own program that's based on really, really good ground manners, good basics under saddle, and everything just kind of builds off of that.
Absolutely.
I don't like, I find that when you get yourself too locked into one niche, that you kind of, everything else gets kind of fuzzy on the sides, and I don't like that. Good basis is what I really strive for.
Yeah, that makes sense. It really does. Yeah.
That's an amazing approach. Absolutely. I wish a lot of our customers use that approach.
Yes,
so.
absolutely.
Especially new horse owners.
Ground manners.
Yeah. I'm just going to buy my young kid. I shouldn't say that out loud. An off-the-track thoroughbred. That's their first horse.
Yeah, we see a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I know you do too, because you do training and lessons. Is that correct?
I do a little bit of everything. So what I say around my program is I don't teach riding lessons, I teach horsemanship lessons.
Wow.
So I start, like, when I do a first lesson, if I have somebody, whether it's somebody with their own horse or somebody with, they're coming to ride my horses, I go over everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. I teach them what a rope halter is, how I use it, why I use it, the correct way to use it. We go over leading, catching, tying. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes even the little kids, the things that they learn when they come to a lesson is that horses are people too, and they have bad days, and we don't get to ride today. So like, that is where my horse comes first. And when I say my horse, I mean your horse. I mean any horse that I have contact with. So
Absolutely.
And that's kind of what I try to drive home to all of the people that I teach. And that can be a tough one.
Yeah, no, I
It
can't
can
even
be a tough
imagine.
one.
Yeah, but that's important because
Yeah.
it's true.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, it is true. Yeah, and knowing all the bases, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Did your mom help you a lot, like as far as kind of what you do today, or did you have a specific mentor or anybody who kind of helped you along the way?
Yeah, so my mom, I know you haven't met my mother, but you've met me, so yes, you have.
So that's your mom, yeah.
Good, bad, or otherwise, I basically am my mother.
Love
So
that.
she was huge. There were definitely people, Kenny Brooks growing up, Carol McMurtry. Those were people that really, they were just such influential horse people. Her name's Melanie. I started taking lessons with Melanie when I was 13. And one of the things that she said to me was, she goes, I do not teach kids. So if you're going to act like a kid, you're out. I was like, sounds good. I still take lessons with her.
Really?
Like, we'll take a lawn chair down to the arena, and I'll just have horses back to back. When I go out to Michigan and I'll ride with her, and I'm really excited to go back to Michigan because she's gonna. I'm like, you're coming out of retirement. So, and all of these people had, Melanie was another one who she kind of shared the same philosophy and still does. Like, she raised dressage horses and she taught lessons and stuff like that. But she had a breeding program, but her horses were very, they did dressage, but they were expected to do everything else. She would take her dressage horses trail riding and, and that sort of thing. So I was really raised up around not necessarily specific disciplines, but just good horsemen. That's the best start that you can give for anybody.
Huge.
So.
Well, and I think too, like you just said, do some other stuff with your horse, regardless of what you use them for. That was one of my pet peeves, when it'd be like us, do the same thing every day, and expect you not to get irritated, burnt out, whatever. Like the barrel horse scene. I have said it numerous times. I wish I didn't love it so much, because I wouldn't, same reasons, I wouldn't be a part of it anymore, because I don't agree with so many things. Go out and do a trail ride on your barrel horse, or chase the roping dummy. Like, I can rope the dummy off of them, or just track it, or go cut some cows.
There's so many people that just have their horse for that one thing, and they don't even go see them.
That's very true.
They just go pick them up and go do their one thing, and it just,
I have a consignment horse in right now, and he's 9 years old, and he was a Western pleasure horse, and that is it.
Yeah.
So he never did, she didn't really do much else with him.
Yeah.
So when I got him, he's 9 years old. He has never seen, just everything in life was so new to him. And since I've gotten him, he's a Western pleasure horse. He's not fast. I mean, he thinks he's fast, but he's
Yeah.
not fast. He's not.
That's awesome.
He's not fast. He's not really like quick athletic. I've cut cattle. I've taken him out on so many trail rides.
Yeah.
Like I've done all sorts of stuff with him. Swung
Yeah.
a rope off of him. Just done so much with him because it's like you need to see what life is about.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, and now he's the happiest guy. He's so happy. He just, you take him outside and he's like,
He's like, what are we doing
where are we
today?
going?
Yeah.
Where are we going?
What's on the agenda?
Yeah,
I'm
so
ready.
So
it's amazing to
cute.
just see those horses go from kind of shut down and in their little box when you start showing them different things. And it's fun to see their personality come out
That's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
when they
Yeah.
start doing different stuff too. So
And they like that. They like a job. They like
Oh,
something
absolutely.
different, you know? Yeah, not the
Absolutely.
same old thing every day.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that's huge. I think
I
that's a
have
big
a-
thing.
Off the
Yeah.
questionnaire question. Have you learned, I'm not sure how many years you've been training, but you execute pretty quickly if a person does not fit in your program for your
absolutely.
sanity?
well, and that's what, so I kind of, I have that whole first lesson program, and basically verbatim my spiel is, if this is not the right program for either of us, I kind of extend the invitation. I say, listen, I feel like you would be a good fit. However, if you, I'm like, if you came here and you loved everything except for the fact that my horse is red, we'll find you a different place to go. If you loved everything but you can't stand the sound of my voice, that's fine.
Yeah.
I would love to help you find a program that's going to be a good fit for you, because the
Right.
last thing that you're going to do, and I mean this respectfully, that's the
Absolutely.
way I'm trying to, but the last thing you're going to do is you're going to come in here and ruin my peace because you're not happy here. That's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
You know, I
Yep.
value this way too much. Yes, it's my business and it's my job. This is how I feed myself and my horses, and I keep a roof over my head. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, your $60 lesson will never be worth, like, this is my home, this is my peace, this is my sanity, this is my hobby. Yes, it's my job, for sure, but
Yeah.
it is so much more than just that. And I would rather, you know, quite frankly, I'd probably make more money if I went and worked at McDonald's than if I, you know, than to have one person come in. And that's what causes the burnout. I mean, that's where you
It
get
really
all of
does,
that.
and that's why I asked the question. I know the good trainers out there put on some very strong boundaries.
Yeah,
and
you
you know,
have
we've
to.
had to do the same, and I'd
Absolutely.
say that this is our first year where we've gotten much better at setting boundaries, because you
Yeah.
always feel like, you know, you got to get there. So you waver on, you know, what's I don't know to say what's good or what's bad, but you just waver on some of your principles, and,
Yeah.
and we've decided that's
Yeah.
no longer.
And it is a hard thing to do. You know, I kind of learned that lesson earlier this year with a really difficult client. And in my gut was like, don't take this client. But I was like, yeah, well, it might, you know, I kept making excuses for it. And then, man, that burned me so bad. I was like, oh, I knew it. But that's okay.
Right.
You're living, I'm like, everything is a learning experience. Sometimes you just learn what you don't want to do.
Absolutely,
And then you
absolutely.
just say, okay,
As
I
long
need
as
to
you
trust
got
my
a
gut
good
a little bit
takeaway,
more and
you're
then move
you're
on with
learning and you're
life.
moving
So-
on.
That's very true. But it's
Yeah.
good to set especially in the horse world, because I feel like boundaries is a hard thing.
And get it in paper, get it in writing.
Yeah, absolutely. Boundaries with your horse and boundaries with the other people. It's like, okay,
Oh,
calm down. Yeah, so that's
Exactly.
good. I'm glad because you're right. It's not worth it.
It's
not
just
worth it.
No.
No. I'm
No.
glad we do that too now, because it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. No,
Yeah.
Well, the people that
I was
cause trouble
becoming
in the
very
beginning.
miserable. I
Yeah.
was
It-
definitely, and making everybody around me. So
if that's the way that they present themselves when they're at their best, you can guarantee it's only going to go downhill from there. Especially now that you have their money,
Yeah.
then it's just going to get worse because now they feel like you owe them something. And in some cases, I'm not saying that, you know, it's not, you don't owe them something, but at the
Right.
same time, it's like,
I recently had a customer that, it's a, I'll try to tell it as quick as I can. Basically, the rear cinch was a little too long, and he had Bill custom make him one. And then he just wanted me to swap his cinch for that cinch. I'm like, no, Bill's repair is completely separate. He brought up the fact that whenever he bought that saddle, he got a cinch that was over $100, a new cinch. And I'm like,
great.
how
Would you
does
like
that
another?
become relative
How does
to
that
what
just
we're
cancel?
talking about?
Yeah.
I have a ton of cinches. You could have chose something for less. His wife was in the background. You paid $143. Yes, sir. 5-star is the cream of the crop.
Right.
That is the more expensive. there was other options. What relativity does this have? But when you have their money,
Yep.
now we've become entitled in some way. So, yep.
Yeah.
And in my past, I would have caved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did not.
No, good
So
for you.
that was-
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta have that.
You
Yeah.
got to. And
It's
it's
hard.
You know, it's
It's
very
really
hard.
hard.
It's very hard. And his last words to me were, I will tell everybody not to shop at your store. I will spread the word. And
Because all the
people
that
that
you're
you
going to tell are the
associate
people
with.
like you. And I don't want you anyway. So.
Yes. Oh, yep. And I used to just do it to keep the peace. And so
Right.
these guys are like, it's so good that you're not in the store as much as you used to be, because I created a culture that was not a good culture, and I know that.
And then
So,
people get word of, oh, well, you
yep.
can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's a problem.
It
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
it is a
And it's a
problem.
hard industry anyway, regardless if you're a competitor or like, professionals or business owner. I mean, this industry, I don't think we talk about it all the time. The equine industry, the Western industry, it's such a unique niche. It's such a it doesn't correlate to anything else. Like if you're not in it, you don't understand it. And so it's hard. You don't want to upset anyone. You don't want to do that. You want to do the right thing. But yeah, some of those people, it's just hard. And you finally, and I'm so proud of her too, because there's been a lot of people that have taken advantage, and she's finally and it's a good thing.
One of the best quotes that I heard, and you can kind of fill in the blank, but it said, "It is not your trainer, barn owner, tack store owner.
Yeah.
It is not their job to subsidize your hobby.
That's a good one.
If you cannot afford it,
That is a
Just
huge
say-
one.
Yep.
A
then
huge
then
one.
pick something that you can afford. And
Yeah.
sometimes that just means buying the cheaper cinch
Yeah.
or not going to the horse show. But it's not my job to haul your horse for free
Right.
Yep.
because you can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you at Starbucks last week.
Exactly. Yes. We
Not just
recently.
you in the
We all
drive-through.
need it. I'm not judging. Who knows?
Right.
Maybe it was a gift. But
Yeah, but still.
but we
It's
do
true.
correlate.
And I
with
get
that
told
stuff.
that
And
all the time. Like
Yeah.
recently, a gentleman, well, I've already spent $35,000 on the horses, and so yes, wanting me to give tack, at this tremendous discount, and I'm like, I tried to make a point, and then I had to flat out
then
say,
you
you
should've-
totally missed that point.
yeah,
So
then
yep.
you should have spent $30,000 and put some aside for
Yeah.
what the other important parts
Absolutely.
of horse
Yes,
ownership.
yes.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, yep, I get that. That is
That's
not a
awesome.
new subject for
That is
me.
not a new
I know.
subject, she says. Not my first rodeo, she says. That's awesome. Oh, I love it. Well, kind of going more in depth on your training and lesson approach, you work, I've met quite a few of your horses. You work with such a large variety. What are some of the biggest challenges and rewards of training, like with the different breeds and different temperaments and stuff?
Yeah, so each horse is very, very similar to the next,
Yeah.
and yet so completely different.
Right.
I will say that I have never there has not been a single horse, and it doesn't matter if it's one that I bought as a weanling or one that came in as an unhalter broke 5-year-old. There's not been a single horse in my program that has not made me at some point go, I should never be allowed to touch another horse in my life. This is not going well. But it's usually at those points that you have your biggest breakthrough.
Absolutely.
And if you just keep going, and sometimes when I say keep going, I mean just don't give up. Sometimes keep going means I need to take a step back.
Right.
I need to spend 2 days doing nothing but brushing this horse and taking him hand grazing. Sometimes it means we need to get a bit more firm and we need to draw more boundaries. And sometimes it means I'm going to leave you stand tied for 4 hours and we're going to come back to it. It looks different for each horse.
Yeah.
But the biggest takeaway that I've gotten from every single horse is that they're all teachable.
Yeah.
That they're all just genuinely good creatures. They all have good hearts. They really do want to do the right thing. Now there's some that are going to be a little bit more testy. There's some with some attitude and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Your thoroughbreds are going to be way more like runaway. Your quarter horses are going to be way more chill. Like they each, but at the base of it all, they're all horses. They all pretty much communicate the same way.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that I have found, no matter what horse that I'm working at, no matter what point in their training, is the better of a handle I have on myself, the better my horses are going to be. So that's really especially when I was younger, I didn't like to self-reflect a whole lot.
It's hard. It's hard, yeah.
But now that I'm older, that's one of those things where it's like, okay, sometimes the horse isn't the problem.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say sometimes, usually the horse
Usually.
isn't the problem.
Well,
It's normally going to be me.
You care that much, I can tell. That's why you self-reflect, because you got to figure out, all right, what is this huge picture, you know? So I get that, and that was an amazing answer. Like,
Yeah,
that was just so
100%.
cool.
No, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
My dad, just to add to that, like, there's so many things that he used to say that just stand in my mind, and he always used to say, there's no bad horses, just people that made them that way.
Yeah.
So, and I tell a lot of customers, the fastest way to get there is to take your time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, especially
Absolutely.
new horse owners that just want to push things, and you've got to slow down. You cannot push to get that best result. So taking a step back is
B1
huge.
horsemanship. He said one time, and this isn't going to be an exact quote, but very similar. He said, if you go slow and you take your time and you teach them step by step, they'll never have an excuse to get bent out of shape, or they'll never have a reason to get bent out of shape. He said, they will, but they won't have a reason to.
Yeah,
So I was like,
That's fair.
that's great. Like, you're never going to stop. It's just like kids or
Yeah. It's like us.
adults.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm going to throw a temper tantrum sometimes, but it's easier if I don't have a reason to. I'm going to come out of it a little bit quicker. That sort of thing.
Absolutely.
And that's where, when I have a young one that's throwing a temper tantrum, I've got one filly in right now, and she is a drama queen. Oh my
boy.
gosh. She anything happens and she's halfway across the arena and I'm like, okay, did she have a reason?
Right. Right.
What could I have done? And sometimes the answer is nothing. She didn't
just
like
did it.
the swinging of the rope. I mean, and she doesn't. Anything new, she's like, big deal. But it's like, okay, you're fine. And then she gets over it really quick. But it's like, did I give her a reason? Was I pushing too hard or going too fast? And, they'll tell you.
Oh yeah, they will. They will tell you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. With that, like, you also see a variety of ages, not just with the horses, but with people too, right? Like, what's like, do you do really, really little kids too, or like, what's your kind of age range look like?
Everybody. I mean, I just started giving lessons to a 4-year-old, and she's super cute. And that's one of those things. Like, I give lessons to anyone who's interested, regardless of age, experience. I give a lot of lessons to older riders who are nervous. I have Waylon. He's the absolute best horse ever. People joke, they're like, well, what is the, what's the riding requirement, level requirement? And I joke, I'm like, warm body.
Yeah.
Like, if you can sit upright, you can ride this horse. Like, he's so good. So we do a lot of like, just like confidence building lessons and stuff like that. So I don't turn anybody away if they're willing to learn. I'm willing to teach, and that's kind of the deal that I work with people. I'm not willing to teach people who aren't invested. And I always say the more invested you are, the more invested I am. I'm not going to give more than you, but I will absolutely match you with that. So the more that you show up, the more I show up. That's kind of, and it doesn't matter. Like I said, that little 4-year-old, she's so excited to ride. I mean, she's one that you kind of have to be like, no, it's time to get off now.
No.
Exactly.
Come on, let's just keep going.
So age
awesome.
and skill appropriate is what I focus on. So just little things like that.
That's awesome. No, I love that. I know this is kind of it could be a touchy subject, but I think it's important to talk about. What common mistakes do you see riders make, and how do you help correct that, especially because then it becomes more so muscle memory, so retraining the people, what's your process with that?
Yeah, so I always try, if I have new riders, my biggest thing for them is, you'll hear me say it a lot, ride with your hips, not your hands. So I do a lot of physical demonstrations with myself, going, okay, well, here's what happens if I look right and steer right versus if I use my whole body and I look right and then I can steer right. I do a lot of things like that, and that is the beauty of having the relationship that I have with my lesson horses, is that they are so, I'm like, if you do it right, they will do it right. I have 2 horses that I use in my lesson program very regularly, and one more kind of coming up that he's doing a really good job. But But Waylon in particular, if you do it right,
Yeah.
he will do it right. If you don't do it right, he'll be like,
I don't know
I
what you
don't
want.
know what you could possibly mean, but I see something green over there, so
That's
let
where
me know
I'm
what you
headed.
mean.
Yeah.
So really doing stuff like that. And then if I have people who already have developed bad habits and stuff like that, I will ride with them and I will show them. I'll be like, this is what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I'll over exaggerate it and I'll kind of show it. And then I'll be riding one of my horses who, once again, if you do it wrong, they're going to be like, I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah.
And then I'll set myself up correctly and I'll do it as an example. And a lot of times when they correct themselves, the horse will do it right. And I'll be like,
Like,
look
oh,
at that.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
magic.
It's a magic light bulb moment.
And
Yeah.
I'll also utilize, I usually have my phone on me and I will take videos and pictures and
That's
be like,
huge. Yeah.
do you feel like you're vertical?
Yeah.
I'll be like, yeah, I do. And I'm like, you're at like a 45-degree angle. Like, this is what it actually looks like.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, okay, fix yourself. It's gonna feel weird, but trust me. And I'll take another video and they'll be like,
yeah.
I see now. And I'm like, there you
Oh,
go.
that's awesome.
That's what you're gonna have to work on. So,
Absolutely.
and a lot of it too, I hate to say that people don't. I really love having those tools with video and stuff like that because they don't have to trust me. They can just kind of look at it and be like, okay,
absolutely.
that's why you pay me the big bucks, is because I can see what you can't feel.
Right.
And then
Yes.
we're going to retrain that. I have one student right now who has done just a phenomenal job with her horse. But I'm like, the horse hasn't changed. You have. The horse is still the same horse.
Right.
He's not doing anything phenomenally. And as soon as you revert back to your old ways, so does he. But it's not the horse that's changing, it's you. So we always need to circle back and look at ourselves when our horse starts doing these bad. Well, I take him to a new place and he's just, he's all nervous again. Okay, well, are you riding like you do at home?
Right.
Well, no, because he's nervous. Well, why do you think he's nervous?
Yeah, you're telling them
Yeah.
there's
Right.
something to be nervous
Because
about.
you're all hunched
Yeah.
over and doing the monkey on a football thing, and you gotta not do that.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of where we go, and that's where I do a lot of I'll take people for trail rides as a
Yeah.
lesson,
Yeah.
and so they can kind of see what it's like in different scenarios and stuff
That's
like
a
that.
huge
Which
thing.
is
Yeah.
yeah.
Because you're right, it changes like when you're at home versus if you go somewhere. Not just, I
absolutely.
mean, and like you said, not even just for the horse, but for
Yeah,
us. And
and
you might
for
not
me
even
too.
realize,
For
you
me
know?
too, which
Yeah.
is like I took a student down to the junior rodeo this last weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And I took her and her horse that she was riding, and then I took my 4-year-old with me. I'm like, we're gonna work on stuff, just him and I. Well, I wasn't feeling super well that day, so we didn't work on a ton, but I'm like, you get to be my chair today.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
just what we're gonna do.
That's
and that's how we
important.
can always work on new things with these horses. So
That's huge. Yeah.
I don't
just
know if
take
that
'em.
answered the
Yeah,
question.
it did. No,
Yeah,
it
you did
Yeah,
fabulously.
you absolutely go expose them, and the video, like quite a few people that we've talked to on different podcasts too, that's what they say too. They're like, if somebody could video me, because you're right, like you think, and myself included, you think everything's fine, but visually it's like, oh, I see it, know, but you can't see. Yeah, you're trying, you're like, what? I'm like sitting fine, I don't know, So I think that's super helpful with the videos and the pictures too. Sometimes it's very humbling, but
I don't want to see that.
I know it's
I'm
like,
good.
oh my god,
I'm
yeah,
good.
is that really me? That's awesome. On that same token, how is there a way that you keep both horses and your students like motivated and progressing, I guess, especially when things do get hard? I feel like it's very common for people to be like, you know what, I'm done. And so how do you keep them progressing through that?
Yeah, I think the thing that really drives progression isn't even necessarily doing better in that one thing, and it might be for certain people, but I have found that the majority of people across the board just want to feel confident and peaceful and relaxed. So sometimes I'm like, listen, the thing that we're working on, it's not going well. We're gonna go take a walk around the field and we're gonna relax and we're gonna end on a good note. And we can always come back to this.
Yeah.
Like, especially.
And I was just going to say, and I think that factor, like all those things that you're looking for, is connection with the horse, and you feel those once you have connection with the horse. So if you're off,
Right.
yeah, sometimes that's the best way to just get regrounded.
I've had people come for a lesson and they're stressed out because they're late and this and that. I'm like, stop. Let's not do a lesson today. Take your horse, take him for a 20-minute hack.
When I go out to do saddle fits, I take longer than everybody else because I am very high stress. So I like always, just really take a few minutes to really just pet the horse, let him sniff me, and then I can feel my stress level go from here to way down here.
Well,
but when I first go out there, they're probably like, oh my God, this lady's going to kill me. Like, she's definitely out to get me.
And these horses are going to, it makes a big difference. And when you get frustrated, Waylon is the worst about this. If you get angry, he's like,
I got your number.
That's exactly what he's saying. So I'm like, you can be frustrated, but you can't let him know.
Yeah.
So whenever people are like, well, how come it's when you're in a hurry that it always takes long? It's like, well, because you're in a hurry and they can feel it.
Yeah.
Like, so kind of back like to the question, but to keep people motivated, the people that are the ones that are going to quit are the people that have stopped enjoying it. And I'm like, I don't care. Like I had one woman, she's like, my goal is to canter. I just want to canter. I just want to canter. I'm like, well, that's your goal, but I don't care if you ever canter.
Yeah.
I don't care. I want you to enjoy your horse.
Yeah.
Like kids especially. That's one thing I see a lot of. A few years ago, I had a parent and she was like, well, my kid should be loping now. I'm like, I don't think so. Well, she's been riding for 6 months. She should be loping. I said, your kid is still scared to trot.
Yeah.
She's just now gaining confidence in her abilities where she's at. If you push her, you will scare her. She will have a horrible time and she will never come back. So here's my question to you. If you want her to lope, I think you're the one that needs to take lessons.
Good for
Because
you.
you're the one
you
that
don't
wants
understand.
to lope.
Yep.
So you come out here, you get on the horse.
Yeah.
Like I say you two should take lessons together. Why don't you both come and ride?
That's amazing.
Well,
yeah.
she's the one that wants to ride the horse. I'm like, then it's none of your business what she does on the horse.
Yeah.
Then you need to go sit in your car. Well, I teach your child.
Absolutely.
Does she leave happy? Well, yeah, she has a great time, but she'd have more fun if she lopes. Who cares? Who cares what you
And
think
that
she
is
would
in
have
your,
more fun
you're
doing?
absolutely
It
right.
doesn't
That's all
matter.
in
And
their
that's
head.
where it's like, okay, especially for the children,
Yeah.
I'm going to be an advocate for them because sometimes the parents think they know what's best. And I'm going, you don't.
Yeah.
Once again, if you think that you can do it better than me, go buy a pony, do it yourself. Your kid's going to be done with it in 6 months. I can almost guarantee it. But
Yeah.
if you let them move at their own pace, and this goes for adults too, but it's me having a
Absolutely.
conversation with them, not,
Yeah.
it's like, I understand that this is what you want to do, but there's always the next ride. And you are like, I don't even know what the statistics are, just an insanely higher risk of having an accident
Yeah.
if you're stressed out, nervous, tense, like all of these things. I'm like, so wait until you're comfortable.
Absolutely.
And that's like, there's always tomorrow. There may not be tomorrow if you fall off and you get scared. So that, that's just one of those things where it's like, I'm always trying to advocate for the mental health aspect of it. And those, it's a much more emotional process than people think it is. It's not like, it is kind of like riding a bike, but it's nothing like riding a bike.
Yeah.
Because
it's very different. Yes,
yeah, it's not
absolutely.
something that you can just get on and do and like this
Yeah.
and that. And that's,
They're not machines.
That's exactly it.
They're
Like,
not a machine.
horses are people too.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously.
And you have to take that into account. And it's the same thing. Like if I came up to you and I had a bad attitude and I was short and I was snippy and I was, well, we have to get this done. We have to do this. We have to do this right
Yeah.
now. Like I can see your body language
I'd
changing
be
just
like-
right now. Whereas if I'm sitting back and I'm relaxed and we're
Yeah,
having
and
this
then we're
calm
just cool.
conversation, it really does. It changes everybody. So that's kind of what my focus is on, and
That's
not so
awesome.
much on this linear, idea of progress.
Right,
Because
right.
what is that?
Or like a
really?
set
Yeah.
timeline. It
What's
doesn't-
your goal?
Right.
What's the goal there? So
Once
that's
again,
kind
the
of-
fastest way to get there is to take the slowest
exactly,
path.
exactly. Yep.
Well, and enjoy it. Because if you don't enjoy it, it just, we all go through
It's
that.
way
but
too expensive to not be having a good time.
exactly. That's what I was trying to figure out the words in my
No
head, but
way.
it is.
Just point blank.
Deanna and I had this conversation, what was that, yesterday? And I don't mean this in a bad way, but I was frustrated. There's just a lot going on in life right now. And I'm like, And now on top of it, my roping horse he's limping and I don't know why. And I like don't, have a truck and blah, blah, blah. And I was just telling her, she just looks at me. She's like, I love you. And I know you guys love the horses, but I don't understand. And I'm like, I looked at her and I'm like, I would be lying if I told you that I have been at the point where I'm like, I'm just going to sell them and be done. But then I don't know, because I do enjoy it. It's my passion. I don't know what I do in life, but there's moments where I take a step back. I'll let the horses sit for a few days because I'm not enjoying it. I'm not in a good headspace. So you just, that's the best thing. Just walk away for a little bit.
People will say, well, I have to keep, and this is back to the progress thing. Well, if I don't keep riding him, I'm going to lose progress. I said, if your horse loses all your progress in a week, you didn't really have any progress anyway.
Very true.
My 4-year-old.
Absolutely.
He's one of the best little horses ever. I mean, he's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
People are like, well, I don't want to untrain him. And I say, if you can untrain my horse in a 10-minute ride, he's not trained.
Right. Very
So
true.
ride the horse. You're doing me a favor. You're
fine,
telling me
yeah,
where he's actually at.
There you go.
One of those sorts of things. The horse doesn't know.
No. No.
If you never touch that horse again and you kept him with food, water, and I'm not even going to add shelter in there.
Yeah.
Oh, they're fine without it.
They don't stand in them
care.
anyway. Yeah.
The number of times that horses stand outside in a hailstorm because their shelter is too loud.
They're getting like pelted in the head, and I'm like, go
good.
inside. They're like, no, really, it's
Why
fine.
did I build this for you?
Yeah. But no, you're very right. Like, and I think we put a lot of mental pressure on ourselves, like myself included. You're like, God, I got to keep these horses exercised. I have to. But sometimes, like you said, it's better to just give it a night.
Absolutely.
Last night I got home and I'm like, you know what? I'm not in it. So why go out there and cause a fight almost? You know what I mean? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Just
for sure.
And the ending on a good note thing, that has always been something that I have strived to, and I think it's so important. Don't end on a bad note, even if it's the smallest thing.
People think a good note is a good note with the thing that you're currently working on.
No.
Nope.
No.
Sometimes it can be like, I set my horses up, so all my horses I train, it doesn't matter what the situation is. If you look to me, we're
good.
done. We can take a break. So even if it doesn't matter what the situation is, if you check in with me, we can take a break. So all my horses know that if they're stressed, if they're worried, if they're scared, and they just check in with me, I'm like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
And that has gotten us through so many different things
That's
with these young horses. I mean, my horse, my sweet little Charlie. I took him out last year, and it was his first big trip, and we were going down the trail, and it was pretty steep. It was like straight up on this side and straight down to the river on this side.
Oh, good Lord.
And out of just kind of around the bend, maybe 50 feet in front of us, was a whole family. There were like 5 people, and they had 3 pack goats. And the goats had bells, and the goats had fishing poles, and he did one of these numbers. And he was like shaking, and he did this over his shoulder and looked at me, and I'm like, you're good. You're good. And I got off him, and that horse, that 3-year-old, never seen anything like that before. He put his head down and he just walked past these goats. I was so impressed with him. But I'm
That
like,
makes me
that
wanna
right there,
cry.
it made me cry too. I was
my
like,
gosh.
just the sheer
That's
amount
amazing.
that this horse trusts me to be able to come into a situation like that, being that young, tired. That ride was probably 16 or 17 miles round trip. And I mean, so he was.
It's a good trick.
And he just was like, okay, if you tell me that it's okay, I'm going to believe you. And I'm like, that right there, that means more to me than any blue ribbon, money, one, anything in the world. Because
any
my
pattern,
horse can,
maneuver. Yeah.
Yep,
yeah.
absolutely. So
that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. And I think that's a big piece.
And that's the goal. And if it's not your goal, I don't want to work with you.
Yeah, it's true. But you're right. Just the smallest thing. I mean, even to them just, okay, maybe we don't like backing, but hey, we got him to back 2 steps. Good. Thank you. We're done. That's a good note.
And all that training, that stuff that I've been ingraining in him since, because I got him home when he was 6 months old. I'm like, that's why we do this.
That's what proof is in the pudding right there, you know? I mean, and that's a huge, I think people tend to take it too far. Like, okay, just like in that analogy, your horse just backed 2 steps. Okay, but I want 5 more. Right. No, just, okay, they did it. Be done.
Yeah.
Pet them,
Build on it.
build on it.
And in stuff like that, I'm like, I just want you to mentally commit to it. And that's it. Even if you don't, even if the mental commitment is you lean backwards. Good, done. Why would I force you into more than that? You mentally, you gave me what I'm asking for, and that's it. Right. And then that's kind of what I that's what I aim for, and it doesn't
Yeah.
matter where else we're going from there. So
Right. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. I think you have an amazing program. So you always inspire me, and I just think you're awesome. So that's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome. It's just good. You just care about the people, but you really advocate for the horses too, and you just do it the right way. So, and there's not a lot of people out there that do. So yes. Kind of on a different subject, like your Western events, and I know you're not showing so much now, but you have in the past. So was it more so ranch riding and cow work? Did you do some of that?
Yeah, I did let me say, I get bored really quick. I'm probably ADHD. So I'm like, I don't sit still well. So I've done all sorts of things. I've done versatility. I've done rein cow horse, ranch sorting. I think ranch sorting is a great time.
Yeah.
Team penning. I've done the the judge trail rides. I've done the obstacle challenges.
That would be
I did
fun,
You've done Mustang makeovers.
I have not done a Mustang
you
makeover.
haven't?
No.
You should.
No.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm like, it's just such a big commitment.
Yeah, that's true.
And then the imposter syndrome kicks in once again. It's like, should I even touch another horse ever? I don't know. So I haven't made the leap into that one yet. But yeah, just all sorts of different things that I've done. But yeah, so most recently, probably ranch sorting is the thing that I've done the most of. Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I love that. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun to try. What do you think as far as the training goes? Is it pretty much like, I assume you use just a lot of everything we've talked about.
Yeah.
That in itself just builds a good horse to do whatever you kind of want to do, correct?
Yeah,
Like,
I look for the brain first. It's like, listen, I don't care if you're the most. I'm not the most talented rider, which means I'm never going to expect to. I couldn't handle a super talented horse. Let's be honest here.
You could.
You underestimate yourself for
Yes,
sure.
absolutely.
That's that little voice.
Right. The biggest thing that I look for is a horse with a willing attitude.
Yeah.
I had this big draft cross mare, and she was, getting the mare to lope was just. It was a workout in and of itself. But that mare was up for anything you asked her to do. I took her swimming. I jumped her. We did these like crazy obstacle challenge things with the teeter-totters and all that stuff. I took her sorting. I did some little cutting stuff. And man, the girl had no real talent for basic. She was a wonderful mare. Loved her to death. She was not athletic. She just wasn't. But she would try so hard for it. She would just give it her all. And I'm like, I would rather have a horse with 20% talent and 80% attitude than a horse that just didn't really care but had all the talent in the world. And I really like that, a good, solid mind. And it doesn't really matter what I'm competing in. Because once again, I don't compete for, yes, we all want to win. We want the paycheck. We want the blue ribbon. We want the belt buckle. We do. We all do.
Yeah.
But I would rather have a horse that I'm happy to put in my trailer than, and I think it was, I want to say it's either George Morris or Jimmy Wolford, one of those guys. He said, he was asked a question, well, what horse should I buy? I'm stuck between two. He said, which horse are you going to be the most happy to see sticking over their head, sticking their head over the stall in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Which horse are you going to be the most happy with? And I'm like, that's it. That's that right there. Yeah. You have to love the horse. So yeah, I guess that doesn't really answer your question.
No, it does.
But
No, it does. Absolutely. Just preparing them in the best way. Just like you said, the foundation, the base, and then you can kind of do whatever else, whatever. It kind of makes me laugh, like what you're saying, because the thing that always cracks me up, how hung up people get on the looks of a horse, the color. Oh my God. I'm like, people like, and it just popped into my head. So I have mixed feelings about him. I'm not saying, that I think he's the best or anything, but it was just the quote that he said and it made me laugh. He's like, it was Clinton Anderson. He was doing a podcast and he's like, this thing with these the color thing with these people, he's like, let's say we had a Palomino, okay? He literally could be like a wife beater, he says. Yeah. But because it's Palomino, these women are like, oh my God, I want him, put him in the trailer, And it's like, it's true though. Like people get so hung up on the color, what the horse looks like. And I don't even care, I'm like, it could be the ugliest horse ever if it's
we
good,
had so many people that are first-time horse owners and didn't listen to their trainer because they liked the looks of this particular
100%.
horse.
Well,
100%.
And so there's the quote, like the classic unfinished quotes, right? Like, a good horse doesn't come in a bad color.
True.
But there's a good horse in every color.
color.
So I'm like, okay, listen, I get it. I love the pretty ones
Oh,
too.
absolutely, yeah.
But if you're you need to be real with yourself.
Mhm.
I found a pretty horse that's in my price range, but I can't handle it. You probably shouldn't get that one. Now, if
Exactly.
you have the budget for the pretty horse then absolutely get
100%.
the pretty horse.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
totally
I
fine.
agree.
I don't
I
think
agree.
because trust me, I've seen a lot of ugly nags that aren't worth
Yeah.
nothing anyway. But,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know, so that's kind of a double-edged sword there when it comes to that. Like I said, my favorite, I'm going to say favorite horse. He's just a plain old bay horse.
Yeah.
But got a lot of hair. Like, I think he's great. Some people wouldn't look at him because he's plain old bay horse. That's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine. I
yeah.
don't really care. More for me. But it's one of those things where, like, I get it. Like, I've got my big Palomino mare, and
Yeah.
like, she's stunning.
Absolutely.
So it's like I said, I get it. We all want a pretty horse, but yeah, you have to be real with yourself. If
Yes.
you can't,
Yes.
if you can't handle the horse, then that's how you're gonna make it into a horse that is
It's
just
going to be
even.
a bad setup. And I guess I should reiterate, that's what I'm meaning. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only focus. That doesn't matter. The horse could literally have 0 rides on it. Like, it's insane. It's dangerous. It has no training, but because of the color, you know. So
Yeah,
that's more what
just-
I'm getting at. That they don't look at anything else. They don't care
Right.
about the mind. They just want the color.
Now,
And
if
it's
you've
like,
got the talent, like I'm
Yeah.
not, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn here or whatever, but there will be a horse from like it's unhalter broke, it's 7 years old, it's a little wild, but it's pretty and it's $500. Give
Heck
it to
yeah,
me.
man.
I'll halter break it. I'll make it a good horse.
Heck
You know,
yeah.
but I'm realistic with my skills and my
right.
abilities at the time and stuff like that, where I'm like, okay, well, I can do that,
Absolutely.
but it's going to take a
Yes.
little bit more than the
Yeah.
average to be willing to take that horse. You've got a $1,000 horse off marketplace, right? And it's really, really pretty. Okay, well now your $1,000 horse is going to be an $8,000
Yep.
horse because you're going to need 4 to 6
absolutely.
months worth of training into
Absolutely.
it. Be prepared to do that, and then be prepared to say, well, this horse didn't turn into something that I can now handle, so now I'm going to have to sell it to somebody who can't handle it for $3,000,
Right.
Yep.
and then start over. So be willing to do that. So.
Absolutely. That's huge. No, it's huge.
I'm what is it? I don't want to yuck your yum, but but I am gonna kind of be like, listen, you can do whatever you want. But here's
Absolutely.
the reality of it,
Mhm.
and
Reality.
hopefully,
That's the yes.
hopefully,
Reality is the
you know,
big
if,
word.
if
yeah.
you're willing to be able to come, to come to those realities, and it sucks being the one who has to deliver that sometimes.
Absolutely.
Be like, yeah, I'll keep working with this horse, but I think you're throwing your money down the drain.
And that's
I mean, if you're
important,
gonna throw
too.
it down the drain, throw it down the drain with me, absolutely.
Right.
But
Yeah.
But just be
I
realistic,
just
yeah.
don't think that this is.
A good fit.
Yeah, exactly.
And that happens. There's so many that it doesn't mean that they're bad riders or bad horses. It's just not the right fit.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And there are horses where I'm like, I don't like this horse.
Yeah.
I mean, I can ride it. I can
Right.
work with it. I can deal with it. I had a Palomino gelding in, I don't know, a year and a half ago or whatever, and I'm like, I hate this horse. I do not like him. We
Yeah.
don't get along. He's angry. But one of my students came and she rode him and she's like, this is the best horse ever. I'm like, great, he's yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, take him.
It happens all
Right.
the time.
It's
Yeah,
just like
there's
with people. It's
Yeah,
just like with people.
absolutely.
Like,
Personality clashes, and
you and
the
I
next
aren't gonna
person
be-
is
Yeah, we're not going to
That
be
is the
best
perfect
friends, and
owner.
that's okay.
Right.
That's okay. We don't have to be.
Absolutely.
You're going
Yeah.
to be a great horse for
Somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, and being upfront and honest about that, because I feel like that's another thing we see. Just the certain people that do feed them this kind of fantasy dream that they don't have that discussion. They're, oh yeah, this is going to be great, and then the horse goes home and it's a disaster, and then the people ultimately get out of horses because they're just
Oh, yeah.
frustrated and upset. You know. So I think having those
Yeah.
realistic, like, hey, no, this is the facts. We can keep going, but just to be upfront. That's
had
huge.
a pair of clients. It was a husband, wife, they were engaged, whatever the thing was. And
Yeah.
they both got horses that I said, don't buy those ones.
Mm.
Within 2 years, they'd sold both of their horses and they haven't ridden since. It's been like 4 or 5 years. And I'm
Wow.
like, I
Totally.
It's
You tried.
terrible.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
say
yeah.
that this
Yeah.
is, and this is kind of rude, and I don't mean it in a rude way, but it's great business to be in because it's so cyclical.
Yeah.
I mean, people think, oh, I just want to own a horse. I'm going to do all
Ride
these
off into
things.
the
And they have
sunset.
grandiose
Mhm.
thoughts that aren't realistic.
Yep.
And then they're back out. And then, we're
Yep.
selling everything that they bought. And, I wish that never happened because
Right.
we've got customers that, goodness, we've had from day one that still come in.
Yeah.
And so,
And I see the opposite side of that as well. There's a woman at the barn that I'm at right now, and love her so much. She's the sweetest woman. And she bought this horse that I'm fairly sure people were like, hey, probably not a good match. We bought a young horse. She hasn't ridden in a while. She'd had a baby, so she was kind of out of shape, you know, whatever. She has been out at that barn 4 or 5 days a week. Wow. Every single week. I mean, I went out there the other day and she was just sitting on the ground in the round pen. I was like, hey, is everything okay? She's like, yeah, I'm just having trouble with her. So I'm watching some YouTube videos real quick. Aww. I mean, and this woman has put so much, I mean, and this mare has not been easy. She was young. She had an attitude. And now she takes her out. She rides around the property by herself. I'm like, it gives me goosebumps. I'm like, I am so proud of you. Like, it just makes me, so like, there's
there's always flip sides everywhere.
And I think a lot of that comes down to the people's personality too, is like, how much are you willing to devote to that? And I'm like I said, those are the people that I want to help.
Yeah.
And like, and you know,
it's what keeps you going.
She's never paid me for a lesson, but I'm like, I will absolutely help you with whatever you need because I see your heart behind it.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at. And I'm like, and that's
enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I love it. I love watching her out there with that horse.
That makes me so happy for her. I'm glad because that's got to feel so rewarding for her too. You know, it's
absolutely.
Like finally, you know,
I told him like, you should be so proud of her. I mean, she took her horse for her first trail ride ever, like off the property. I'm like,
wow,
you go, girl. So proud of her.
I love that. Well, because that's like we were emailing about this too, like adding some questions about trail riding and stuff. Because that's a whole nother, like you think trail riding, it's just this leisure. No, there's lots of things, obviously, like goats and stuff that can just pop out.
Depends on how you do it.
And where you go and, you know, the weather. Even. I mean, there's so many variables that are uncontrollable on the trail.
Things.
Yes, you know, so like getting a horse okay with that, I feel like is almost a bigger challenge than just arena work, you know, so that's huge.
Yeah.
Like, and then taking them away from their friends, like there's so many things. Yeah. So, but that's amazing for her. And I think a lot of it boils down to just spending time and like desensitizing them. But
building that, I hate the bond, building a bond. That is a trigger word for me. I can't stand it. I'm bonding. Okay, sounds good. But
keep drinking
on the
Kool-Aid.
flip side, there really is that relationship there. Bond, if you will.
Partnership.
Yeah,
you know, We'll find an alias for bond. Yes. Do you have like a system like desensitizing them to that? Do you just got like a string of goats now that you like lead around?
Funny enough, my friend actually moved. They have 5 goats at the barn now, and
Lord.
I'm like, welcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, awesome. That guild. So I work at 2 separate properties, and one property I just have 2 stalls at that property, and they border. They've got, I don't know, 15, 20 roping steers.
Oh.
So if I have a horse that's afraid of cows, I'm like, you're living with the cows.
Oh, get in there.
Honestly,
program.
That's
love
exactly
it.
what I do. I'm like, if you're afraid of it, no, you're not.
You're getting in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're getting, I love it.
Customers that, don't let the stirrup go over and hit him. And like, people, you have to desensitize your horse.
And
like,
I'm out there with a rope around the stirrup. I'm like, colts flapping it around as they're round pen work. I'm like, no, you're going to get used to it.
It's important,
And if you can't handle...
my horse wouldn't, I don't think they'll do well with these strings. Oh my God, you shouldn't be riding if your horse doesn't think that it can do well with the strings of a saddle. Like, come on, people.
The only time
that is a
Waylon
recipe for disaster.
ever dumped me off was we were riding. He was like 3, like newly 3.
Yeah.
And we were riding down the side of a paved road and we were almost home. So he was like focused on his buddies and I adjusted my leg and my chinks, like the fringe on him, flapped and he bolted forward and he took off and I kind of like lost my balance and pulled this way and he was so sweet. He's like, oh crap. So he stopped and he backed up and turned because that's what I was actually telling him to do. Like he wasn't intending to. And he dropped me right on the yellow dotted line on that paved road. I still have scars on my knees because I landed knee first on there. But I was bleeding through my jeans and we went back home and I put him in the arena and I flapped my legs around and let me tell you, you can do anything with that horse if you want to because I'm like, I am not putting my butt on a horse that you cannot move your leg and have him act like a sane creature. Like that should be nothing to you. And now like I have video, like I did probably 7 miles of the Colorado Trail with a book in one hand and a squishable bottle of whiskey in the other, and he just like walks down the
He's
trail.
like, okay, yeah, you're just like reading your book.
I've read an entire I will
my
read full
God.
books on trail like when I do pack trips and stuff like that because there's nothing else to do. So I'm just reading my book and I'm like,
my God,
that's how I
that's
expect my
amazing.
horses to
That's
be.
yeah, you know, and I love that the kind of the more
The
unconventional
squishable whiskey part?
I mean, you know, I'm okay with that. I do like some whiskey, but the flapping, the stupid nuances, but get them used to it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
horses.
It petrifies me when we have customers like
Yes.
that, especially
Yes.
when they're new. It's like, no.
It's like, oh my God, they're so scared of everything. And I'm like, dude, throw everything at that. I remember my Palomino, he used to be scared of like plastic bags.
yeah.
And so I have a picture somewhere. I like put this Walmart bag like over his ears and tied it.
Oh, yeah.
And I just let him walk around with it. And then
Welcome.
now he's fine, you
Yeah.
know? Or like if they're scared of the banners, guess what? Your whole pin is about to be lined in banners, dude.
Well, that's exactly
Yeah.
it. Charlie spooked at there was a piece of I don't even know what it was. It was a long piece of something that had like just blown in.
Yeah.
And he was spooking at it. So I tied it to the nose of his halter. I'm like, there you go. Wear that for a few hours. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, great. I'm the same
And
way.
he was like, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. It's like you going to the competitions and the rodeos and stuff. Everyone's always freaking out. They're like, oh my God, there's fireworks, there's cows, there's this. And I'm like, okay, if you're going to do that with your horse, you need to expose them to that. Like our neighbors, I love them dearly. But they have a shooting range, they do fireworks, they have dirt bikes, they go crazy out there, and everyone's like, I can't believe. And I'm like, why? It's actually really good. Like, like I'll be riding down there and they're setting off their AK-47s and stuff, and I'm just like, my horses are fine because you got to get them used to stuff like that, you know?
My motto is, if you're dumb, and maybe I shouldn't say this, I'm gonna.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, that's fine.
If you're dumb enough to kill yourself over that, I'm dumb enough to let you die. Like I can't help you.
Yeah.
I cannot help you.
Yeah.
Like you have to have some sort of self-preservation and logic, or I don't want to deal with you.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I just don't. You're gonna. If you don't care if you kill yourself, you won't care if you kill me. And you know who I really like? Me. So I don't want to die, especially not by your choice.
Absolutely.
So like I just can't. There have been horses that I've dismissed from my program or that I've sold because I'm like,
good for you.
You aren't smart enough to not hurt me. And I'm not saying that you won't excel in different areas or there won't be somebody that loves you. I'm not saying that you're a bad horse or you deserve to be on a truck. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I am saying is that you don't have what I need from you in order to be successful in my program.
Absolutely.
And I just don't. It's one of those things. Can I deal with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I can. It's not like I'm incapable, but I don't want to.
No,
Yeah.
when they
It's
don't
not
care,
fun.
yeah,
This is
I
not
agree.
fun, and
That's a
it's
huge
gonna
thing.
get somebody hurt, and it won't be me. So
Agreed.
a little tough love there, but
Hey, you gotta do it.
I have a strong enough bond. I think
Oh,
that's
dang it. You really need to work on that. Yeah, you need to bond more with those horses. That's funny. Maybe share some whiskey in a book with them, you know? Maybe then your bond. will-
Ironically, I was
Stronger.
joking like Waylon's been my horse for too long because his favorite thing in the world is margaritas.
Oh,
If you give that
that's
horse
awesome.
a margarita, he's
I
like,
love Waylon. He's so
Yes,
sweet.
he
He's such a
is.
good horse. I haven't seen him in a long time. We just have to bring him by. You know? Yeah, he's so cute. I love him. I'm sure this next question probably has something to do with Waylon. I could be totally wrong. But do you have or what's your most memorable moment or rewarding? It could be in competition. It could be like in anything. But does one kind of stick out for you?
I don't know. Honestly, this is going to sound really dumb, but every time that I go out there to the pens and I go, hey, buddy,
Yeah.
and they just are like, and they come up to you, and it doesn't matter. And all of I'm like, my horses are friendly to a fault sometimes. Like they will mug you if you walk in, but I'm like, that to me means more than anything. And it doesn't, I don't know. Like, yes, we've won buckles and we've won checks and we've won all of these things. And we've had a lot of crazy, I mean, I could tell you so many stories about the backcountry and just stuff like that, but just having a horse that chooses you over friends,
Just the
over food,
relationships
over
you've built is the most
absolutely.
important.
You know, when they come over and Waylon is a good one at this. Charlie is another one too. Taylor, all of them really.
Yeah.
They'll leave whatever they're doing and they'll come over and they'll get their scratches and then they'll say thank you and then they'll walk back to whatever they're doing. I'm like, you just came to see me.
You love it. Like
It
they love
wasn't.
You.
I
Yeah.
didn't have a lot of people are like, oh yeah, they come over for cookies. No, I don't have treats. I don't do treats.
Yeah.
But they come over just
because.
just to have a little bit of that relationship, and like, and that to me means more than anything.
That gave me goosebumps.
Yeah,
It's
I
true.
know. I was just thinking if we measured the podcast by the number of goosebumps you get when you're doing it, like you're way up there.
You're up
Yeah.
there, girl.
I've
If we were giving
tons.
buckles away for that, man, yeah.
How many goosebumps can you
Yeah,
give us
you
during the
get the
podcast?
goosebump buckle.
That's awesome.
That's funny. No, that's true because I've had a lot of people say that and it kind of like hurts my heart a little bit. Like there's a lot of people that they're like, they don't really love you. Like they just think they associate you with food. And I'm like, that is not true. That's
That
not
is
true.
not
I
true
so
at
disagree
all.
with
It's
that.
like that may be true. for
Any
horses.
animal.
Yeah, but not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, they love you. You're their family.
They're
you know?
not dogs, and they're
Right.
not going to react like
Right.
If that was the case
But
on the trail with the young horse,
Oh, yeah.
goats, he wouldn't have
Oh,
looked
yeah.
back
Exactly.
to you for advice.
Yeah.
But,
and that's where I kind
your
of too
lead.
it makes you really think about your training methods. One of my favorite things, like if you train with fear, there will always be something that the horse fears more
Yep.
than you.
Yeah.
absolutely.
But if they trust you, they'll do anything.
They'll do anything.
And that gives me goosebumps.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's one of those things where it's like,
Absolutely.
and just the amount that has rang true for me
Mm-hmm.
over the years, no matter what horse that it's been with, multiple horses,
Yeah.
just in a lot of different scenarios. If they trust you,
Mm-hmm.
they will walk through fire for you.
Absolutely.
Willingly. Be like, sounds
Okay,
good.
let's go. Yeah.
Tell me when.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that, like I said, that to me means more than anything that you could possibly get in any other scenario. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kind of on a different token, because you have brought us several, just like when we went out to your place that time, saddle fit, I feel like you're very on top
yeah.
of that too. And we know it makes a difference, but would you agree, like,
Oh,
for
yeah.
your horses?
Funny enough, I just dealt with this scenario like 3 weeks ago.
Really?
We had a mare, and I actually sold this mare. Lovely family. They're
Yeah.
great. The woman, she's a timid rider, but she's very capable, and she's gaining her confidence back. And they had some things. They had another mare who they bought a saddle for their daughter, and just some things. So her daughter started riding the horse that I sold them, and we went on this trail ride, and the mother was riding in the daughter's saddle, and the horse was acting. The mare was a jerk. I was like, let me on that horse.
Yeah.
So she ended up riding my young horse, and I rode this mare, and she was just doing, we were going downhill, and she was bucking and striking and
my
just
God.
acting like a cow. And I was very displeased with this horse. So I spent a good long while. I worked this mare, and I brought her back, and I was like, you need to leave this mare with me for a week. We're going to deal with this. We're going to get her back. She just had a bunch of time off and some stuff like that. So I'm like, I don't know. I've never had her act this way, but
Yeah,
we're going to get it
something's
figured
wrong,
out.
yeah.
And I put my saddle on her the next day, and this mare sat back. She took off bucking. She was bucking to the point where she didn't, she went to her knees. It was
Yeah,
bad. I
it
was
was
like,
bad.
what the hell is going on with this horse?
Yeah.
This is not the mare that I know. I owned this mare for 4 months. I rode her everywhere. So we worked her through that. I'm like, okay, you cannot act like that. So we worked her
Right.
through that. We took her in the round pen, and I put a belly rope on her, and I was tugging on it, and the mare was fine. She was fine. She was fine. She was fine. She was fine. I put a flank rope on her. She was fine. She was like, okay, whatever, not a big deal. So we put their saddle on her. This saddle was digging so hard into her shoulders. I was like, there's a problem. Found it. I put another saddle on her. 0 issues.
Wow.
Literally the next day we put another saddle on her.
She's fine.
No issues. Rode her off alone, up, down hills, walk track, canter, around. 0 problem. She's lazy, but that's
Right,
not
but
really a
yeah.
problem, you
Yeah.
know? But I was like, there's your issue. And I'm like, my whole theory with that is I said, what's more expensive? A custom saddle or a saddle that fits? It doesn't even have to be custom. I
Right,
just
right.
say custom because that's the most expensive option.
Right.
So what's more expensive, a $3,000 custom saddle or a horse you can't ride?
True.
A horse that
True.
that hurts you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Or
that's-
work, seriously.
I've
yeah.
seen way too many times where people, well, I can't afford that.
Right.
You're going to throw money at training. You're going to think it's all
Right.
these issues, and it's comfort. And the struggle is, I feel, when horses have been pretty harshly cowboy broke, then they do learn that you tolerate what you have to tolerate. But when they've been started with good fitting equipment, then they let you know, and you've got to listen.
And that's one of those things. So tells you anything about the level of crazy I am. So I actually have my equine sports therapy massage certification. I'm also certified in kinesiology taping. I am not a saddle fitter, but I have been to enough that I can, I know enough to say
I
that
tell
I
people
don't
you
know.
might not know if it really doesn't, well, how do I say it? You might not know if it's a perfect fit, but you'll know if it doesn't.
Right.
So,
and so it's like, so I think we talked about this before too. It's like I have 4 or 5 horses that I want to bring here and have a saddle fitting done because I'm not a professional. I've been getting by, but I like to bring at least my quote unquote good horses here once a year to make sure that we're on track, make sure that I'm right anytime that I get new saddles. But it's like, it is so important. It's just like, and I use it, this analogy too. It's like, what size shoe do you wear?
This is like an 8.5.
Yeah. So you wear a size 8 shoe.
Yeah.
That's great. I wear a size 3 in kids.
Right.
I'm assuming you probably wear a different size too. Well, you say, I've got this perfect, world's most comfortable pair of size 8 shoes.
Yeah.
And you give them to me and I'm like, these shoes suck. And you're like, no.
They're great.
These are the most comfortable shoes
That's such
you've
a
ever
good,
worn.
that's such
And
a
like,
good
you know,
analogy.
and my husband's a size 10, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I give them to him and he's like, these shoes suck.
Yeah.
I've got blisters, and they're like, no, this is the best
like
pair
a
of
cloud,
shoes you can ever wear. Well, sure, for you it is. And I'm like, okay, well, your horse is wearing a shoe made for somebody else and you're telling them to go run a marathon. No.
That's huge.
It's not going to work.
I'm stealing it.
Yeah, I don't use it.
I'm stealing it.
And in
absolutely.
addition to saddles, pads
Yeah.
and your cinches and everything that goes into it. And
Absolutely.
like people will wear a pad, and I'm guilty of this right now. My pads are really dirty, but they'll ride in dirty pads.
Yeah. Or cinches.
I'll be like, have you ever been to the beach and you go in the water and then you come out and you get sand on your feet and then you put your feet back in, even if they're flip-flops, put your feet back in your flip-flops and you get
Tiniest little grain
halfway
of
down
sand.
the pier
Yep.
and you've already been rubbed raw by that sand. It's the same thing. Take care of your equipment.
Absolutely.
Take care of it. If you take care of your horse will take care of you. And if you don't,
Then guess
sorry,
what?
but the consequences are yours. Like if you choose not to do that, and like it hurts my heart to see people that don't know.
Yes.
Because like in this last scenario with this woman, she had no idea that this horse, and because this horse was in pain and she was trying to say that, her confidence was shattered.
Right.
Because she's like, I've never seen this horse act like this, and I'm
And now I
scared of
know
a
he
horse
can,
that does.
so yeah.
And I'm like, I understand that, but please don't let that that wasn't her being bad.
Right.
That was her way of saying, I'm hurting.
So bad.
And as soon as we fix the pain, the horse fixed her attitude.
Yeah.
So, but it's hard to watch people have their confidence shattered by stuff that's I say simple. It's not simple,
Right,
but it kind of is.
It kind of is.
And it's
It really is.
It hurts. It hurts my heart to see people have such negative effects by something that is so easily fixed.
Absolutely.
And yes, it's going to cost you some money, and yes, it's going to do that, but in the long run, I mean, because if she hadn't figured that out, now she's got a horse that bucks, and how's she going to sell that?
Absolutely.
You
told
know,
this story
and
so
that's
many
how
times.
these horses end up in bad places too. It's like you can take a really good horse, and people are like, oh, well, it ran through livestock auction as a bucker. It's like, okay, but what was the
Why?
scenarios?
Yeah.
Was it started by a cowboy who just took a sensitive horse and tried to whip and ride it, and now it's uncomfortable and it's sore and it doesn't have any other way to tell you other than to be grumpy, and it's like I don't know. I'm all for giving a horse a chance now. If they're truly nasty, adios.
Right.
But
if there's a reason.
right, and more often than not, I've dealt with 2 horses. I've dealt with 3 horses in my entire life that I've been like, that one is nasty.
Just to be nasty.
It's just nasty.
Yeah.
And these horses have flipped themselves over. They're aggressive, charging, biting, and I'm like, I had one that he kicked right here. I'm like, you're gonna kill something. You're gone. You're out of here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, but you've chosen your fate. I gave you every chance in the world. I owned that horse for like 3 months. And I'm like, I tried for you,
Yeah.
and you gave me nothing back. And I'm like, I'm not gonna. You're not worth dying for.
Right.
You're just not.
Right.
So, but for the most part, yeah. Back to the point. Saddle fit, super important.
Yeah.
And it doesn't.
Very
I'm like, it doesn't matter what they charge. I don't care if they charge me $150 a horse.
Yeah.
Absolutely, tell me what needs to be done, and I will make sure. Sometimes it's like, well, I'm going to get the cheaper saddle that is a better fit
Right.
until I can buy.
Far too often for us, we have customers that want the nicer saddle, and it's the less expensive saddles that fit.
Oh,
Yeah, that's very true.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
our makers that are, at that lower price point, but their trees fit a nice variety of horses,
Yeah.
where a lot of our higher end makers are still, change it guys, are a lot of those old cowboys that just refuse to acknowledge that our horses have changed.
That is the
So-
saddle version of buying a Palomino horse.
It is.
It is.
Drives me
And we
insane.
have it happen, and people will ask us literally, 6 or 10 different ways about how can I make the saddle fit my horse, and we're like,
What if I buy a
we
different
can't. But we can't.
It's like, what if I wear
Lindsay-
your shoes with 10 pairs of socks?
Yeah,
Like,
right,
well,
exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess, but how comfortable is that really
Exactly.
gonna be
Right.
when it's like, it's just not. Just buy
Well,
the
and
thing
at
that
the end of the
fits.
day, we do the same thing, kind of like you just said. Like, at the end of the day, I tell people it is your decision. If you want to buy that one
Absolutely.
that doesn't fit, that's on you. But we're here telling you,
Right. Right.
I tell them,
Yeah.
Sign
I'll
this piece of
explain to
paper.
you. I'll explain to you where it does fit, and I'll
Yeah.
explain to you where it doesn't fit. I'll explain to you what happens if it doesn't fit here, here, or here, and then you make that decision.
yeah, it's up to you.
Like, well, could I get by with? That's on you.
Mhm.
That is on you.
You
I
know, you and I
cannot
have had that conversation.
give you the stamp of approval. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But listen,
yes,
man. You just pay me for my opinion. What you do with that opinion
It
is
is-
It's true,
really none
yeah,
of
it's
my
It's
true.
an
business.
educational piece is what
Yep.
we've started. That's our motto.
And I would
Saddle
say,
fit
too,
is
it's
an
like,
educational
listen,
piece.
when the time comes, I'm not gonna tell you I told you so, but you'll know.
Yeah.
See it in my eyes.
You'll
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it. I'm not gonna say
I've
it,
had
but
a
I'm
few
thinking it.
customers that have circled back around. It's like,
Like,
I
sorry.
don't say I told you so, but they know.
Yeah,
They
They know.
definitely know.
They're like, yep, she told us.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
I tried to warn
I
you.
tried. That's all we can do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Just try. Yeah, do what we can, and yeah, it's very much their decision at the end of the. But man, what a difference it would make, and if in a perfect world, if all the saddles fit all the horses, could you imagine the level of performance? I mean,
Oh,
I
I
see
just
so
can't
many
even.
horses, and I'm like you said, you can visibly see it, and they're out there like, I mean, giving it their all, and it's sad. It really. Knowing what you know and then seeing what you see,
yeah.
it's like, and I know you, same thing. I mean,
Between saddle fit and people that think that they need a bigger bit.
oh god.
I'm like, if you feel like you need a bigger bit, you need to ride in a halter.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't ride in anything else until you can
Can
get
that
everything
figured
done in a
out.
halter.
Yeah.
And spurs.
Absolutely.
Oh
another
yeah,
thing.
spurs too.
If you need spurs, no, you don't. You should never touch a spur if
Yeah.
that's what you need to
Yeah,
ride. So,
I agree.
yeah.
The bit thing, we see that a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and there's so much misinformation, and every horse is different. But the bits are the hardest.
Yeah.
The hardest thing out there, and there's so much misconception on.
Yeah.
On how they work, and
Yep.
how you use that tool.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, and how heavy your hands are. I mean, even in a hackamore,
I
it can be
once had a
extremely
person
aggressive,
call. It
depending on
was
your hands.
years and years ago. Once had a person call and said their horse wouldn't go, so they needed a stronger bit. I'm like, sorry, I should laugh at that. Yep. Well, I need a stronger bit because my horse won't go. Nope.
That's
don't.
not your problem. Yeah.
I have you have several balloons and I have a pin. So
Yes.
I don't know what to tell you there.
I don't know what to do. Is this a trick question?
You're hurting my
That was
feelings
funny.
now because that's just,
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I guess kind of to finish us out, like we've talked, I can just tell by talking to you, like your job is very rewarding. You take a lot of pride in it. Like there's so many things that just
Extremely passionate.
yeah,
yes.
very passionate. That's the word I'm looking for. Do you, I guess the last kind of two questions we had, is there a piece of advice that you would give to people kind of, I guess more so like the types that would come and have lessons, like any horse people, and then what's your next steps, like as far as goals or anything going forward for you?
Yeah, so what I would tell anybody is if you don't love it, you're not like, it's a waste of your time, money, effort.
Yeah.
So love what you do. And that looks different for everybody. Some people love competing. So get out there.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's like, if you just love that competition, go out and do it. I don't care if you finish dead last.
Yeah.
Like it, just go and do it if that's what you love. If all that you love, I lease out to people. And I had one girl who leased, and she leased for like a year and a half.
Wow.
I think she maybe rode the horse maybe 7 or 8 times, maybe.
Wow.
She's like, I just love grooming them. Like, then that's what you should do.
Yeah.
That's always what, like, just make sure you love it. Like I said, it's too expensive life is too expensive to do things you don't like, especially when it's in your hobby. So just make sure that you're having fun. And I'm not saying that every ride's going to be a party and you're going to have the best time, but make sure you're working towards something that you feel is worthy of doing. Like I said, I mean, if you don't love it, and then I've been through times like that, you know, especially when I was kind of transitioning between, I was getting so burnt out, and it got to the point where I'm like, I don't even want to ride my horse. Like I had a horse with me, and I was like, I didn't ride him for like 3 weeks. I'm like, I don't even want to.
Yeah.
This is no fun for me anymore. And that's when like, that was kind of a big, you know, red flag for me. It's like, this is the thing I love more than anything in the world, and I don't want to do it. So what do I need to change to bring that back, right? And I'm like, if I stay here, I won't touch a horse again. So I need to do something different. So it's like, and don't be afraid to, and this is probably going to be controversial to some people, do not ever be afraid to stand up for yourself, whether that's with your trainer, your barn friends, your barn owners. I see more people bullied by barn owners than is even
or
funny.
Trainers,
And trainers, you know, just because they ride a Jeff Smith cutter, their brand new client that's never owned a horse before can't have a synthetic one to get started. Like, we have a great trade back program. It fits the horse wonderfully. You don't need a $3,000, $4,000 you know, cutting saddle. You just don't.
And that's exactly it. And it's like, I'm sorry, but if your friends are treating you like that, you need different friends. And I just like, that is my biggest thing that I will tell anybody. It's like, you have to enjoy it. And that's, like I said, that's what I want for people out of my, I just want you to love what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Because you'll like it better. The people around you, your horse, everybody's going to have a better time. You know, so that's my biggest thing for everybody is just love what you're doing. And then moving forward, our plan is actually, and I hate to say this out loud because life is just so, it's life. Plans change so much all the time. But the tentative plan now is we're actually going to transfer the whole program back to Michigan. So that's kind of within the next, kind of be transferring back there.
That's exciting.
We've got
goosebumps once again. Like that makes me so excited to just for you.
So
we will miss you.
We're gonna miss you.
Oh my gosh,
amazing.
that's so awesome.
We've got a really good group out there. I know, you know, I was a big part of 4-H growing up and stuff like that. And you know, personally, my plans, you know, I got married last year, and he's a great guy. I always kind of joke I made the absolute best business decision. He's my farrier.
Perfect. Yes.
So, you know, him and I are hoping to move back home. My mom's got a great property that she's going to let us work out of.
That's amazing.
And it's just,
so cool.
It's just perfect. And, you know, there's been some things kind of brought up from people back in, you know, in the area that I grew up in where it's like, you know, the 4-H programs are lacking good instruction, and there's a lot of opportunity there. And, you know, and I've always said in my program, well, why do you teach? Why do you do that? It's like, I teach because I love it so much that I feel like it is my privilege to be able to share that with other people.
Oh, absolutely.
And like, I feel, my mom always told me, she said, you have been blessed to be a blessing. So if I am able to take that and pass that on to other people. Like that's truly why I do it. I guarantee you it's not for the money. It's
I
not
know,
for all,
I say that even with this.
it's not for all the free time that I have and all the beach vacations I get to take. It's not for those reasons, but there's nothing more rewarding than to see those little kids trotting for the first time, or to see those nervous people being able to lope with
I
just
remember
a
the
smile
first
on
time
their
when I
face.
took lessons with Autumn and I loped a trot and I'm squealing and she's like, I'm like, I got it. She goes, well, your squeal didn't give it away. So yes, moments like that. I totally get it.
Yeah, and that's
And
what,
she's also married to her farrier. So they're moving to Alaska though. She's been
Alaska?
yeah,
Oh my
they got a
gosh.
3-year plan. So
Wow,
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Life's too
so
short.
It is too short.
You need to enjoy it.
yeah, so it's like, you know, and that kind of opens up a lot of different opportunities, you know.
Absolutely.
Kyler and I, my husband and I, we would like to kind of start our own family
Absolutely.
and that sort of thing. And it would open up a lot of doors for me to be able to stay home with a family and still do,
so
to be able
fabulous.
to do all aspects of the things that I love in
Absolutely.
my life and stuff like that. So that's the plan, basically. A whole lot more of the same old thing, and just
different
keep
things.
Keep on going,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've got a little teeny tiny itty bitty breeding program. We actually lost one of our brood mares this year,
I'm so sorry.
we bought a, I hate to say replacement. That mare was phenomenal. She'll
Right.
never be replaced. But another addition to the broodmare band. I've got one mare who's bred for next year. So kind of starting with that. I've got actually Charlie, my good horse. His full brother is he's my stud prospect and
Oh,
just
how
some
cool. Oh, that's
fun stuff like.
exciting.
And he's a dun. So
Ooh. That's gonna be so
again,
exciting.
not the color.
I know.
I own 4 full siblings. Charlie's the oldest, and then I have another bay and a dun and then another bay, and I'm like, the dun's gonna be the stud.
Hey, that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah, like well, like I said, we'll see how it all goes, and
Yeah.
I never commit to anything until it's in the past, and even then sometimes only 50-50, but that's that's the tentative forward motion plan.
That's awesome. Well, I'm so happy for you. That's
Thank you.
awesome. Is there anything else that we should cover? You think that's?
I think I've talked enough. So
No,
I'm so
been
glad
awesome.
you came today.
Yes.
me too.
It's been
Me too.
fabulous.
It was
You're
good
awesome.
good to get out of the house.
Yes.
Good to come and visit you guys, and
Yeah.
need to set up some appointments with
Heck
you.
yeah,
so-
we'll be here.
ready.
We're ready for you. So, but no, well, you are amazing, and thank you for all you do. Seriously,
Absolutely.
we love
thank
you. We're so happy for you.
No,
So.
I appreciate you guys inviting me
Absolutely.
on. I'm like, does this mean I'm famous?
You are.
I am
You're gonna, dude. You're gonna be on YouTube, on Spotify, maybe some TikTok, some
I should have.
Facebook.
I'm glad I showered this morning.
You are totally
That's
fine.
funny.
No, you are fine. I know. The shirt.
Yeah.
I love it. I just keep seeing more.
I
when
was
look
eating a
at it.
peach on the way here. And whatever. Listen, this is who
Yeah,
I am.
It's
I'm
great.
not
No,
here
it's
to-
perfect. It's perfect.
Yes, I'm not a liar.
That's awesome.
I love
Yes.
it. Well, thank you
Oh,
both
man.
for being here, and
Thank you.
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yes, I'm excited for this episode, and stay tuned for more.
Woo.
So.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to give us a like, drop a comment, or subscribe to keep up to date on new episodes. See you next time.